Hey guys, Cell here. Welcome back to some more Fate Grand Order. I now have 3 days left that I need to complete this in. The 4th day then becomes a major countdown before New Year's comes out. The Demonic General descends. Now I believe I might be able to go up to Sector 9 before we actually would be ending the episode. As I went and looked up how many missions we need to do in each sector, I might be able to do it. Might. It's like how I don't know who the heck we're fighting, so sure, why not? It's probably a bad idea. The Demonic General descends. Xinjiang just fired another rocket. It looks like it's aimed straight at us, just like the first one. Think this one is more supplies for Hinako. I doubt it. I'm guessing it's either a direct attack, or it's carrying soldiers that can handle a rough ride, like when Akuta and that prince first showed up. Given that this civilization has produced humanoid mechanical soldiers, there's no telling what could be coming next. That said, there's been something strange about this last bout from the very beginning. Really, what is it? When Karak and Ophelia came to fight us with their servants, they tended to bide their time, waiting for us to be weakened by other enemies. But Akuta hardly waited a moment before coming after us. Why do you think that is? Because there was no one else who could fight? That would seem to be the foremost possibility. Especially since this world is so peaceful, its people are completely unfamiliar with the concept of war. It may well be that this Lost Belt's ruler has no military force capable of engaging servants. Makes sense to me. Standing armies are nothing more than walking money pits. Keeping one around without an enemy to fight just wouldn't make sense. And if there's no army here, this Lost Belt will be all the easier to deal with. While we should refrain from getting our hopes up, I believe we are about to see Xinjiang's first attack, Sons Akuta. This battle will tell us a great deal about this world's military strength. We'll be fine, totally. Here comes the rocket, guys. Watch the impact. What's there even the point of waiting for it to land? We know it's got enemies on it, right, Master? So why don't we just smash the thing out of the sky? I mean, that's one thing you could do. Alright, go ahead and use your Noble Phantasm. It's the evil sword that destroyed my father, Clarence Blood Arthur. Hell yeah, nailed it. It's not over yet. We're still picking up its magical energy signal. Something's coming out of the wreckage. Gauging temperature. Evaluating magical energy release. Threat level minimal. Oh, hey, it's this guy. Target located. Is that a person? Or a horse? Oh, hey, luckily we're fighting Berserker, so the choice I made is fine. Whatever he is, he's definitely not human, but what's with these readings? His magical energy pattern is closer to an automated automaton than a servant, but his values are off the charts. This guy's got to be as powerful as a dragon-class demonic beast. What? Are you quite sure about that, Da Vinci? You're certain he is an automaton and not a living creature. Trust me, I couldn't believe my eyes either. If he really is a machine, then these readings don't make any sense at all. You're starting to scare me. What's so strange about that anyway? Unlike living organisms, a machine's output rises and falls based on its operational parameters. No one would be so foolish as to fully open the throttle on one merely to leave the warehouse right. All this is to say, the enemy is still just warming up. But if it's giving up this much magical energy while it's still warming up... That was a hell of a roar. I trust you measured that waveform, Da Vinci. Oh yes, we've been up against a number of opponents with vast amounts of magical energy before. But none of them took on such small forms. Retreat. Retreat. Oh crap, it's too late. Hang in there as best as you can until we can find a way to escape, guys. Whatever you do, don't go toe to toe. Holy crap! That's a lot of HP, man. Oh. So you say don't go toe to toe with it, right? But what if I want to go toe to toe with it? I've got the perfect setup for it as well. I always forget about that damn poison screwing me over, man. That damn poison always screwed me over every single time. Okay. Second, Mukir-sandan. Let's go, whatever your name was, I completely forgot. Maybe doesn't really seem to have much defenses. Have to say with his massive amount of freaking health. So do I only have to last a couple of turns, or do I have to take out its first break bar? That's kind of sad if I have to take out the dang break bar, man. Okay. Bop. Extra crit star is always nice. Bop, bop, and bop. Oh my god, he's doing so much damage, Jesus! There still hasn't been enough turns. Okay, Weaver, it's up to you. Deal as much damage as you can. Nice if you could get a crit. Of course not, man. Of course not. No! Okito Urata, no! Damn you, Berserker! How dare you! Here's the major problem. What am I gonna do about this? Of course that didn't give crap. Alright. Hold up and heal Altera. Give evasion to Pen. You gotta keep our Berserker alive. Altera, no! Damn this Berserker, man! Holy crap! So much for not going toe to toe with it, right? My god! Well, we're gonna lose either way if we don't take out this damn break bar, apparently. Tactical body B, huh? Stop buffing yourself, man. It's annoying. No! Atalanta Santa! God damn you! Oh god, he's about to do a Noble Phantasm. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No. Not good. Not good. Not good. Please, Mama Aiko. Please. There goes the break bar. Oh, thank God. Oh. Holy crap. That was nuts. Oh, must have lost. Albeit, I don't know if his Noble Phantasm's a multi or a single target. But either way, that was crazy. Damn, he's tough. Such devastating oppression. How can I not rush to meet it? Watch yourself, Spartacus. He'll cut even you to ribbons if you just run in like a jackass. I see. So this is the extent of their capabilities. So, we've got another servant headed this way. It looks like it's Akuta Hinako's Prince of Longling. This is bad. If he joins forces with this automaton now. Why did you go on the attack without this Lord Zhang Yu? Zhang Yu? Did he say Zhang Yu? I needed to measure our opponent's abilities. That is all I can really do. I believe I have gained sufficient data in this encounter. We can begin our strategy meeting. Let us go to camp, where I will formulate a plan to lead us to a flawless victory. Yes, Lord Zhang Yu, allow me to lead the way. They retreated. Well, a foe. Yeah, more like they let us go. It looks like that thing just stopped by to check us out. Just to check us out? You're joking. That thing was far more powerful than our servants. What in the hell was he? Dunno, but he didn't even try to keep his true name secret. Zhang Yu. So that was Zhang Yu, the hegemon king of Western Chu, who vied with Liu Bang, the founder of the Han Dynasty, for control of China. Are you alright, Lord Zhang Yu? I'm fine. It has been 2,048,000 hours since I last engaged in combat, but my chassis functions without issue. I was hoping you would never need to take up your swords again. The Emperor has decreed I must. The combat may not be my original function, but this frame has since been optimized for it. As such, it is imperative I use it to destroy the Empire's enemies. Yes, now that you're here, our victory is all but assured. So those were the Chaldeans. They hail from the same world as you. They are our sworn enemy, invaders who threaten the Empire's peace and prosperity. We can never coexist with them. Their goals and the Empire's are fundamentally opposed. Well, technically all we really want right now is the cure to our poison. That's technically all we want. Kind of. I see. They did seem surprised to hear that name, Zhang Yu. What you told me sounded impossible, but it would seem it is truly real. What you told me sounded impossible, but it would seem it really is true. There truly is a history where I am known as Zhang Yu. That's right. A single wayward branch of history led to you being given the name Zhang Yu. And later generations knowing you as a human man. Me, a human? How could something so bizarre come to be? No matter how many times you tell me, it never ceases to surprise. That's how much China's history rippled out to the rest of the world. If the Emperor had passed away after a normal lifespan. Enough. Merely imagining such a thing gives us chills. Quite, Your Imperial Majesty. My humblest apologies. So tell us, how did you find your long-awaited return to the field of battle? My calculations show a clear path to victory. Let me handle the particulars, and defeating Chaldea will be no trouble. We see, still, one can never be too careful. Thus, we have given Qin Liang Yu a battalion and sent her to join you. You'll rendezvous with her and finish the enemy for good, ensuring a glorious victory for the Empire. Wait, Your Imperial Majesty, as they say, cleverness has never been associated with long delays. Now that we have Lord Zhang Yu with us, our victory is a foregone conclusion. I think we should move to eliminate Chaldea as soon as possible. Surely you jest, Akuta. You have fled from them not once, but twice now. Your tactical insight, such as it is neither necessary nor welcome. Yes, Your Imperial Majesty. Please forgive my outburst. Good, you are not to make a move until Qin Liang Yu arrives. Qin? Until then, you will continue to monitor Chaldea and ensure they do not turn tail and run. As you wish. I mean, we can't really turn tail and run because I'm poisoned. A certain wimpy director is poisoned. I quit this camp. Berserker and Saber. There's no way we're fighting them already. They're off their rocker if they want me to fight that dang Berserker again, Jesus. Okay, so let's just bring my archers. Why not, right? Actually, I kind of want to bring... Let's bring Summer Joan along. And swap out Santa Altera with Jean. I just want to bring out our Berserker and see how she fares in this last belt. Okay, you said you learned something in your analysis, Holmes. Thanks to the remains of the automata we've recovered earlier, I believe I've learned something. With Crown Prince Nessa's help, I examined their inner workings and... Yes, they look like me. Their quality, however, is most unfortunate. Their mechanisms only imitate my own. There is much degradation. It pales in comparison to great Tai Yi Zenren's famed work. The sage Tai Yi Zenren in his lotus spirit. So then you think these soldiers use sage arts as a base instead of science? Even so, I suppose it is impressive that they work as well as they do, with makeshift parts instead of jewels of the old sage world. The key problem we face in that centaur-like creature, the enemy called Zhang Yu. What did you make of the combat footage I showed you, Nessa? Oh yes, this one is much more like I am than the clay dolls. I have not seen his interior, but I can say that much for certain many of his movements resemble my own style. Even though his form is so radically different from yours. I think those extra arms were bolted on later. His techniques still reflect a human-shaped body. If he had been made in that form to start, he would move much more naturally. I see. A true martial artist's perspective proves most illuminating here. To crib from Holmes, this is just a preliminary theory. But I think he was originally a humanoid patterned after my design, and that he became known as Zhang Yu after many further modifications. In addition, we know that the other mechanical soldiers are much weaker thanks to their mechanisms made less complex. Prince Nessa's body was made with sage arts from the Shang dynasty, lost long before the Asia Qin. However, in this world, Qin Shi Huang managed to recover and gain an understanding of these arts. Scientific progress could subsequently have evolved them into something wholly different from what they were in proper human history. That could also explain how the Emperor managed to become immortal here, and why this lost belt has such unusual technology. There's no time to be admiring their handiwork. We should be asking ourselves what they're doing. For some reason, they haven't made a move. They've just been monitoring us from their camp about 2 kilometers away. My guess is they're waiting for something. This silence is rather unnerving. For the moment, I've asked Miss Cell to take the servants and remain on standby. How dare they treat Tai Yi Zenren's work with less respect than it is due. When next we meet, I will show them the power of my fire-tipped spear. You go, Nessa, I believe in you. What the hell was that monster? I couldn't believe how strong he was. Yeah, and he wasn't just some muscle-headed dumbass either. See, strength's actually a double-edged sword. If you're faster and more skilled than a stronger opponent, then you can still kick his ass all up and down the yard. But that guy was, how do I put this? His eyes were as cold as ice, a far cry from the mania of the battlefield. They were the eyes of an oppressor if ever I've seen them. He must be defeated no matter the cost. Yeah, he was freakish cool-headed, like he was just calmly assessing our every move. It felt like he was predicting exactly what we would do. And what we need to do is to avoid every attack. Very creepy. It was well beyond martial arts. It was also strange that Prince of Long Ling called him Zhang Yu. If Qin Shi Huang really is still alive, I suppose not too strange that Zhang Yu might be too, since they lived at the same time. Yeah, they might have both been alive back then, but that thing we fought today wasn't even human. For that matter, why would Zhang Yu be a general working under the Qin Emperor? I mean, I only learned about this myself once I became a servant. But Zhang Yu was the central figure in a rebellion that destroyed the Qin dynasty after Qin Shi Huang died, right? I heard he competed with Liu Bang, the guy who went on to create the Han dynasty for control of China. Okay, let's say he was always born to fight, but someone like that just bent the knee and so keen, all meek and obedient. I'm afraid I've got an even more bad news. There's a new army headed this way and not by rocket this time. These readings are right, it looks like they're on a wheel transport. More reinforcements from Xiangyang, huh? Yep, and the fact that they're traveling by land means they aren't just mechanical soldiers. This is a real flesh and blood army, led by an actual human general. Does this mean that Crotan's been waiting to rendezvous with them? Probably. I'd guess they plan to end this by combining those armies to completely crush us. If they overwhelm us with sheer numbers, we will have no way of fighting back. This is certainly a rather dire predicament. We can't even run away. There's nowhere we could hide in this wide open field. If we can't run, then we shouldn't wait for them to get here, and we should make the first move ourselves. Are you mad, you fool? You're not here to formulate strategy, especially not without asking me. Besides, you just saw for yourself how frighteningly strong that Zhang Yu monster is. Attacking first would be far too reckless. We can't always retreat from this lost belt if necessary. Oh wait, I'll never be cured if we do that. We have to find a way to hold our ground. But then again, that Zhang Yu robot scares the hell out of me. What is he anyway? Some kind of a living storm. I see our self-proclaimed commander is pretty rattled too. Self-proclaimed, yeah. Yes, it might be reckless to go on the offensive now, but if we just wait around for the reinforcements to get here, we won't have a prayer. We should challenge that storm again. If nothing else, it's a chance to chip away at the enemy's forces. Yeah, we're so calm and collected, Jin Kei. If you think that making the first move's the way to go, too, then we might just have a chance. Alright, let's go on the attack. But be warned, I'm gonna be keeping an even closer eye on Cell's vitals than the usual. Remember, we didn't come to China just so you could burn yourself out. You'll need to be real careful. Hey, long as we take care of business while Cell gets worn out, then it's all good, right? Either way, if we just stand here and wait for the reinforcements, we'll run out of options entirely. I say we strike now while the rebellion is hot. Alright, let's do our best, Master. Raffo! Oh boy, this is gonna be hell. What? They've gone on the attack? That's right. Master Caldea and her servants are charging in like fools. This is perfect. Not even the Emperor would stop us from engaging invaders. Are you sure about this? We could still remain on the defensive until reinforcements arrive. No, the sooner we finish them off, the better. You're more than strong enough for that, Lord Zhang Yu. Very well then. I will do my best. I will join you, Hegemon King of Western Chu. It would be an honor to fight beside such a legendary hero. This time we're going to obliterate Caldea and their masses. Don't leave so much as a trace of them behind. Yeah. Oh my god, that health bar.
触れてはいけないものに触れたわね。
つまり夢中だな。他にやることないの？
優雅に華麗に大胆に。高くついたわね。羅刹と化すわ。修羅になるわ。
こういうのどうだ？つまり夢中だな。他にやることないの？
羅刹と化すわ。優雅に華麗に大胆に。
This is going to be interesting. Ankata Kigashi. Welcome more to Future
ドイ
Jirashi.
ツ語の辞書を準備するわ。叩くわ。ゲートオープン。 しよし、今回もよろしくね。大いなる天から大いなる地に向けて、またの名をジュベルハウリープレイ。
炎は獣に、竜は我が手に。鎖を破壊し、命の鎖を引きちぎる。ペルターボルト、フォイアンドラーヘン。はっ、修羅になるわ。いかがでしょうか。
Yeah, of course you'll give yourself invincible, you freaking prick. This, and then this.
いいじゃない。どうかしら。
大事なし
He's so
大
crit.
事なし
God dang it.
大事なし
羅刹とガスは。
行きます。
Ishtar, no!
大事なし
Damn you! I think we might actually lose this. Oh god.
それ行く、それね。
Go Jolter! Take out Zhang Yu's first break boy, please! That might actually end the battle. Might.
大事なし大事なし
シリアクタと化せ。修羅になるわ。
その通り大事なし
私のイルカは勇敢ですよ。頑張ってね。
God dang, man.
ハイド、ハイド、展開。リース、ホーリーレイ。光よ、ひとやかに。
大事なし
死よ、このバカンスを捧げます。
少し寝るわ。
Attack John, not Jolter! Damn it!
道を開けよ。出陣である。この仮面を脱ぎ、ラン
Yeah,
ナ
yeah,
ー
yeah,
をの
get
証
rid
明
of her
とする。
freaking stuff. Whatever, man.
退け、魔性ども。
Thank you. Oh, Jesus.
血の目が。勝っていられるか。
行くぞ。
よかろう。では、
無駄だ。
はぜよ。光よ、ひとやかに。
Nice crit.
ファイヤー。
我が一族。
Fantasylia, no! Oh, John, no!
この忍者
Oh,
見逃しません。
こういうのそうだな。
容赦しませんから。
よ
this will do more damage.
罠だ。
大事なし
罠だ。無
大事なし
駄だ。
大事
簡単
なし
すぎるんだよ。
大事なし
You don't have the guts to attack
力を
Mama
持って山
Daito.
を抜き気迫を持ってよ
Okay, see a multi-target. Goddamn.
悪い。
ファイヤー。
光
Well, this ain't gonna work.
この忍者見逃しません。空気では、
We lost. No.
いざ。
Come on, Maraito!
逃がしはしません
Yeah, you don't have no damage for that. Crap. So are we supposed to take out both of them, or what? Is just one? Take out the Berserker? I don't know. I really hate this fight. I really do. It's extremely annoying. I'm trying my hardest here, man. I'm trying my damnedest. There shines down the good I
内緒です
see.
よ内緒ですよ楽しみです
Now, will this actually take Zhang Yu out?
光の海
I mean, especially Great Fight? No, probably
喜びを
not.
見つかいは天に帰り手を手合うなりぎです
380, damn. Only reason I attacked Prince of Lungling was only because
しかし
I needed to possibly maybe get rid of both of their bars. In which case,
裏打ちはしません
I need to take out both of them. But at the same time, that doesn't seem like it's gonna happen now. Okay.
来月衝撃版装填します
Target focus up.
装填します
I don't know why I did that. She already had it on herself. Well. Excalibur, Vivian.
行きますよ眩しいですよ
All I know is that John's gonna survive, Marsha's gonna survive. Victoria's probably not going to. Okay, so his first break bar is gone.
リースホーリーレイ光よひそやかに
We need to take out the Prince of Lulling.
手こずらせないでくれる
力を持
Or
っ
do I
て
need to take
山
out
を
both of their break bars at least
気
once?
迫を持ってよう
But I need to take out the Berserker's freaking break bars. Along with also taking out Prince of Lungling. If so, that's extremely annoying. Alright.
示談装填しましょう
Let's take out his first break bar as well. It really is nice if I knew what the heck the conditions were for victory. Oh, hallelujah, I just need to take out both of their break bars once. Oh my god. That was annoying. Oh, look, it's morning now. Shit, the enemy reinforcement almost here. I guess we were too late. That's enough. Both sides lay down your arms. Huh? What? But we've almost got them. Stand down, Akuta Hinako. The Emperor commanded. Nani? What's the meaning of this, Your Imperial Majesty? I thought you were sending in King Leong Yu and her army as reinforcements. Indeed, I was. I ordered her to find Akuta and Chaldea and lend her aid to whichever side was losing. Oh! Wait, what? She wants to shift the balance into our favor? They're the ones currently winning, which means she's gonna help us. What? You're kidding me. You're still being merciful to Chaldea. How many times do I have to tell you? These barbarians are a threat to your entire empire. Ah, barbarians is it? It seems you've forgotten what we told you. So far as we are concerned, you and Akuta are every bit as barbaric as these Chaldeans. Be that as it may, we are beginning to get a clear picture of matters here. The quarrel between you, Akuta, and Chaldea has nothing at all to do with us. You merely hope to use our territory as a stage to settle this quarrel. And so we are taking our time to assess both our allies and enemies to determine who truly benefits our empire. And who is merely a useless interloper? Oh, alright. Let's go. I'll do way more work for you than anyone else, albeit when we're done, your entire world will disappear. Just saying. Oh, well, of course, Hakuta and I have been useful to you, fight your Imperial Majesty. We came here to serve the Empire in its hour of need, and yet you're the one who brought all those dangerous monsters, killing her citizens, or his citizens. I still don't know which is which. Ah yes, that reminds us. What is this dire threat our Empire faces? Is it the Chaldeans who have stumbled in like drunkards? Is it an invasion of Xiangyang, my capital city? What say you, Hanjin? No, your Imperial Majesty. The area that poses the greatest danger to the Empire lies outside that massive impenetrable storm. I speak, of course, of the entire rest of the world, but it is now cut off from your Imperial Majesty's blessings. And what is currently our most pressing need? That would be gathering information about the world outside the storm. And not by taking a stranger's word, but by sending out soldiers you know and trust. Good, that is precisely what we had planned. We would expect no less from one of our most loyal retainers. Very well, how might we go about sending soldiers into the storm to investigate? I doubt the ones who came here on their own will be much help. Whatever ability that let them come from their world is most likely something they can only use on themselves. And what are the more recent arrivals in our domain? The Chaldeans seem to have crossed the storm using some kind of strange vehicle. So, if we had that vehicle, we should be able to do the same theoretically. We would still need to learn how to use the vehicle, if not how it was built, and how it functions, but once we do, it should serve to transport the Empire's armies to the world outside. Yeah, pretty much. So they gain more benefit of escaping the storm by going with us than they do with Hakuta. This Emperor is good. That's a surprising amount of clarity about the big and small pictures. There you have it. Chaldea has a much more valuable bargaining chip than either you or Hakuta. Yeah. If you wish to negotiate with us, you will need to offer something of far greater value. Tyrun Scapone. My name is Koyan Skya. Are you sure you aren't doing this on purpose, Your Imperial Majesty? Of course, we thought we were doing you a kindness, and you would surely dislike being called by the name you deserve. Or would you prefer we forego all consideration and call you Dodgy Fox Woman? Pardon me. How? He was completely unarmed. You grossly underestimated our intelligence, as well as our Imperial Guard's proficiency in Kung Fu. We are almost offended. She must have thought that this was still the same China she enjoyed toying with as she pleased. Now then, let us begin our negotiations anew. Alright, this is going to get interesting. Hello there, loyal soldiers and people of Chaldea. We trust you can hear our voice. But who's that? I think it's coming from Marsh's shield. The voice of an empire is heard by all its citizens, no matter where they may be. It will find them just as surely as the sun's rays. In this case, we are merely focusing a magnetic beam upon that girl's shield, thereby causing it to vibrate. We could use anything of sufficient rigidity, but we assume you prefer your skulls not to rattle directly. The voice of an empire? Then does that mean? We are prepared to hand over this Koya something or other person you have been seeking so desperately. You mean the Koyan Skya? Correct. However, in exchange you must agree to let us examine that vehicle of yours in detail. Accept this condition and we will guarantee you safe conduct in these lands. None will dare threaten you while you are under our protection. What? Your Imperial Majesty, what are you saying? Hakuta Hinako. If you had shown yourself capable of capturing that vehicle unharmed, we would not have resorted to these measures. But you have all but trumpeted your intention of leaving not so much as a trace of Chaldea behind. You fought to destroy them, Shadow Border and all, despite being fully aware that is not what we desire. Still, the Vox woman aside, you have your uses, so we will treat you accordingly. We will not punish you merely for acting against our wishes. However, know that if you insist on continuing to war with Chaldea, you will face the White Cavalry's spears. Be warned, if my Emperor commands it, I will show you no mercy. What would you have me do, Master? We have little choice but to accept this for now. Very well then, Chaldea. Now that we have all had time to calm down, what is your answer? Oh, and do note that our audio is not as crisp as our video. When you wish to speak to us, make sure that you face directly upwards and raise your voice. For our part, just having another option for exiting this current predicament is more than we could have hoped for. Even if that option may cause other problems down the road. At this point, I believe capturing Coin Sky and securing an antidote is far and away our highest priority. Though of course, Miss Cell will need to make the final call. Huh? Not me!
Of course not you.
Let's just keep your positions to ourselves for now. Besides, that voice is speaking to Cell. And I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be happy about being interrupted.
There's nothing we'd like more than a truce. We accept your condition.
Good, good. A most reasonable answer. Now then, let us be certain of one thing before we begin to make arrangements. Do you know who we are? You're King Shi Huang, the first Emperor of Qin. You're Julius Caesar. Right you are. We thought we might need to explain all that in excruciating detail. We are relieved to see that these concerns were baseless. Very well then, now that we know you properly understand our eminence, let us proceed. To begin, Xin Liangyu there has brought with her a number of engineers. You will admit them along with their equipment aboard the Shadow Border. How do we know they won't break anything? Very well then, we will have our engineers conduct their work entirely under Chaldea's supervision. However, be aware that they will not cease their investigation until they are satisfied with the results. We trust you can work together in good faith. Any other questions? Where are you speaking to us from? Yeah, and I thought I heard you say something terrifying about magnetic beams. I am speaking from directly above you, of course. Turn your heads upwards and it should be abundantly clear. Directly above us, you mean? Yes, the Great Wall. The Great Wall, but I thought that was built on the ground. The ground? Ah, you mean that thing we once used to keep the Huns away? Ah, just how out of date is your knowledge of China? There has not been a Great Wall on the ground since our empire absorbed all other nations. Does that mean this empire no longer has any foreign enemies? Correct, this entire planet is now our domain. As such, any outside barbarians that might pose a threat would have to come from beyond the sky. Naturally, we cannot merely sit around waiting for such hostile visitors to arrive. It would be too late to defend against them, so we decided to fortify our defenses ahead of time. This great feat of architecture was built over the course of 300 years. Perhaps you know that the original Great Wall's name meant the 10,000 Li Long Castle. Well, this is far longer. If we were to measure it in Li, it would be 31,424 Li in length.
Dang.
Man, where do I even begin picking that apart? You say you began space development in the 18th century? That's as preposterous as Gandhi dropping an atomic bomb. We admit, we did believe that the only possible threat to our empire might come from the stars. But we must say, even we did not expect to face one of this particular nature. Indeed, it was a great shock to see those impenetrable storm clouds, if that is what they are, suddenly appear around this area of China. We no longer received reports from the parts of the Great Wall that extend beyond China. The only parts that seem to function are those above China. The light of our glory once encompassed the entire globe, but now those accursed storm clouds have severed us from our own world, plunging it back into darkness. This is a tragedy. Without our guidance, our people will regress back to a state of chaos and violence. Thus we must once again bring peace and harmony to the rest of the world. That's why you want the shadow border. Yes, that said, that single vehicle alone is insufficient to our purposes. We will need to produce vast quantities of them and of greater sizes capable of carrying much larger cargo, and so we shall require blueprints. Ah, so that's why you want us to let your engineers analyze it. Given that you are able to pass through a storm that permits no physical interferences whatsoever, we assume you are able to pass through void space. I'm impressed. I can't believe you figured that out at a glance. We understand the theory, of course, but cannot imagine how it was actually achieved, and so we wish to learn how this conveyance was constructed. Ideally, we would like to confiscate it and disassemble it to be thorough, but this would be a great inconvenience to you, would it not? So we are willing to compromise and simply work with data alone. Consider this a display of our benevolence. But the world outside the storm is... Ah yes, Akuta and that fox woman told us some nonsense about lost belts and pruning theoretical phenomena. If you insist upon feeding us the same lies, we may lose our temper. Now would be a great time to stop talking, Cell. There's no point in guessing why you visitors speak of the outside world in such vague generalities. We will make our own judgments once we have seen past the storm wall for ourselves. May I ask you something, Your Imperial Majesty? Did a strange tree happen to appear in this land around the same time as the storm? Specifically a tree of light that's so large it reaches up to the sky. What an odd question. Do such things often appear out of nowhere in your world? We see you are still hiding something from us, Akuta. Well, no matter, we are well aware she has some cards yet to play. No doubt they have something to do with her differences with you. Our interest, though, lies solely in maintaining peace in our empire and reclaiming its territories. We have no intention of becoming involved in disputes between visitors, unless those disputes become something that affect us. Now then, let us be candid. You inquired about a tree of light. The answer is no. Our sight extends to all of China, and we have observed nothing of the sort. All of China, huh? Since it seems like you don't stand on formality too much, I'm just gonna ask. Are you sure you don't mind speaking with us directly like this, Your Imperial Majesty? What do you mean? Well, most people in positions like yours like to, you know, dress up their negotiations a bit, right? They like to trot out intermediaries and representatives and the like. Usually they make a point never to meet face to face. I mean, drawing in a firm line between themselves and the lesser people by refusing to speak to them directly is a big part of how nobles like to demonstrate their difference in status, right? What a strange thing to say at this point. We see in your world monarchs are so insecure that they refuse to even permit themselves to be seen for fear of seeming less than perfect. Tell us, does the sun seek to hide from the public eye? Does the moon hide itself from the people's gaze? We are the Emperor, the Child of Heaven, the celestial existence who reigns over all of our citizens. That is why we permit them audience. Just as the sun's light bathes every corner of earth, so too does our glory shine upon every person on this world who looks up to us. So we suppose that if the sun looked at the same as anyone else, it may feel a need to put on a bit of a show to emphasize its power and status. Then you don't mind us letting us see your face? Now what are you going on about? You have been gazing upon my visage for some time now. Huh? Well, we suppose you cannot see us with your naked eyes, not with the horizon in the way, but you have still been observing us with those mechanical birds of yours, have you not? Indeed, our eyes have met a number of times. I'm sorry, I don't understand. We've been observing Xiang Yang from a distance, yes, but... What, then you stare at us without realizing who it is you look upon? How insolent. We suppose you cannot help your ignorance, but now that you know, you should be more careful. Wait, hang on. Are you telling us that the thing floating above Xiang Yang is... Yes, that is us. This holy vessel is the result of us abandoning our earthly body, as it could only deteriorate and imbuing all our authority within this machine in its stead. In the 2200 years... In the 2200 years that have passed since this body has grown and expanded along with our nation, and now we shall never touch the ground again. Still, our grandeur is readily apparent in this form, making it easy for our people to understand. We are the first and last emperor, the immortal ruler who shall reign over this world for all of eternity. We are Qin Shi Huang. Dang. Oh my god, I'm on 56 minutes already, and I've only done... Oh, wow. Okay, I might need to rethink of how many episodes I actually need to record for this. Dang. I was thinking, you know, I'd end up doing 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9 in this episode. Oh, hell no. At most, I can do 6 and 7. Qin Shi Huang. We're fighting a saber and a rider. Alright, so we're gonna need Waver. Let's bring Ishtar. And... Okita Warata. We have another saber in the back along with Mashu. And... just in case... Fujino. Just needed to check. Just needed to check and see if her name actually was Fujino. It's been a while. Qin Shi Huang. Man, of all the ways for the Emperor to obtain immortality, that one just didn't even occur to me. Well, so after fighting Neza's remains in the Shang Dynasty ruins, the Emperor must have worked out some sort of cybernetics breakthrough way back in the BC era. No wonder the technology in this last belt is so topsy-turvy. So the Emperor must have abandoned the Zenren's aspirations and found a way to attain immortality another way. Zenren? The Zenren were Taoists, mountain sages, or hermits if you like, who sought eternal truth. They also perfected their bodies, thereby achieving eternal youth and life. In proper human history, the first Emperor of Qin had attempted to become one such Zenren through an immortality elixir made with Chinese alchemy. But as it happened, repeated long-term use of this elixir only resulted in fatal mercury poisoning. Alchemy has always been a great deal more trial and error than success, no matter where it was practiced. But in this last belt, the same Emperor must have given up on alchemy in favor of technology based on Neza. Well, Prince Neza's body was still created by Zenren, so it's not as though that represented too big of a divergence from the path. But the decision to surrender human form and grant only the mind immortality could not have been made lightly. From there, if the Emperor was able to stamp out all dissent in the rest of China and continue ruling the resulting empire at the height of its power, conquering the rest of the world seems only a matter of course. Yes, well, as a mage, I can't say I approve of that, but I am glad this Emperor turned out to be such a reasonable fellow. Indeed, this is a most unexpected development. I never would have guessed that a Lost Belt's ruler would sever ties with its crypt in favor of negotiating with us. That said, what do you make of the request to examine the Shadow Border in exchange? It's definitely a risk. I mean, we didn't do so much as tell the other Lost Belt factions that Zero Ceiling is even a thing. The Russian and Scandinavian Lost Belts both seem to have their hands full with their own affairs. But China is different. Quite so. This empire is under the impression that the rest of the world is part of its domain, that the storm is responsible for severing their ties to the rest of their land. They see this situation as an unprecedented disaster, much like we did with the proper human history being wiped out of existence. I wonder what they'd think if they saw the world outside their Lost Belt. I guess they'd be pretty angry. I guess they'd be pretty distraught. Yeah, their potential reaction is key. There are several Lost Belts, but only one Earth. It's a recipe for biggest, crappiest game of musical chairs ever. Since there's no way for all these different civilizations to coexist. Instead of existing in parallel worlds, they all have to fight to exist on the same Earth. So the Lost Belts that aren't preoccupied with just scraping by are eventually going to have to fight others if they want to expand their own territory further. I think Kirstadia even said something about that. Didn't Kirstadia say everyone's trees would be fighting? So the Cryptors. I mean, Team A are competing with each other at the same time they're fighting Papa Human history. Why would Castalia choose this? We have insufficient evidence to come to any conclusions about his motives, so let us leave that aside for now. The salient point at the moment is that all Lost Belts will eventually be competing with each other for survival. Right, and while Papa Human history may be at a disadvantage with all its territories gone, there's still one thing we have that the Lost Belts don't. Of course, the Shadow Border. Because of that, we're still the only ones with the ability to do a sail within between Lost Belts as we please, but if one of the Lost Belts at the border, we'd have a serious leg up on the others, huh? Damn, I can't believe this Qinshi Yuan was thinking as far ahead. Indeed, though all of this assumes that China does indeed have all the other nations under its rule. Then once Qinshi Huang ventures outside this Lost Belt, the first move they make will be able to... Then once Qinshi Huang ventures outside of this Lost Belt, the first move they make will be to go on the attack against the Lost Belts rather than Chaldea. This could be a big chance to swoop in while the other sides are weak from fighting each other and take the prize for ourselves. I'm afraid not, Mr. Gordolf. The outcome we need to be concerned about is Qinshi Huang gaining an overwhelming advantage thanks to the Shadow Border's technology, and going on to claim the entire planet as their own. Right, if that happens, we'll be responsible for creating the biggest threat to restoring Papa Human history ourselves. And there's no way to tell how it'll play out until we open the lid on this figurative Pandora's box. So what? No matter what we do, we're taking a big risk. There's also the possibility that we may become collateral damage when the Lost Belts begin to battle one another in earnest. Still, while we cannot rule that outcome out definitively, it's far enough away that we can worry about it later. In the meantime, our most pressing concern by far is finding an antidote for Director Gordolf and Miss Cell. Yes, exactly, Holmes. I always knew you had a kind heart deep down underneath your gruff detective exterior. Well, I guess we can't deny that Tubby here is in trouble. Wow. If they really do hand Coin Sky over as promised, does that mean we'll have one less thing to worry about? Well, in one sense, yes, but having Coin Sky as a prisoner will create other very serious problems. If anything, it only further weighs the question of how we will go about settling matters in this Lost Belt. And then there's the fact that we still can't find its Tree of Emptiness. Indeed, I was surprised to learn that not even Qinshi Huang knew about it. Does that mean Hinako doesn't know either? What am I saying? Of course she does. I mean, it's her job as a cryptid to protect this world's Tree of Emptiness with her life. Quite so. Her behavior has been most peculiar from the beginning. Both Kadok and Ophelia had formed alliances with the Lost Belts rulers, and shared a goal to expand their territory in the future. But here in China, the only one who seems interested in territory expansion is Qinshi Huang. It even seemed as though Akuta was trying to hold Qinshi Huang back. Yeah, the only thing that seemed to interest her was wiping us out. That's true. I got the sense that she wanted to dispose of us before Qinshi Huang started paying attention to the outside world. I can't tell if she's being reactive or proactive. So hey, this might be too little too late by now, but are we sure it's okay to talk about this stuff in here? I mean, Qinshi Huang keeps an eye on all of China, right? How do we know the Emperor's not listening in right now? True, the thought of the Emperor peeping on us from low orbit is more than a little creepy. But the flip side of that is that's all the Emperor can do. We should still assume our heat signatures are visible even with a roof in the way. But as far as audio is concerned, the Emperor mentioned that the quality isn't good, and we can only be heard when we're looking up and raising our voices. I know, cause I tried yelling a bunch of obscenities at the Emperor when I was in the cockpit. So that's what all this stuff about the old geezers and Daft Punk ripoffs and 80s leftovers was. Okay. Anyway, having the Emperor constantly watching us at all times will get annoying, so I made this. What is it? A stealth module for your new Mystic code. I tried modeling it off of Robin Hood's no-face Mabe King. Just think of it as a streamlined, portable, bounded field. That's amazing. When did you even have time to make that? Thanks, but it's really not quite as impressive as it may sound. There are a lot of stability issues in other kings to work out. If the mana levels in the atmosphere are too dense, or it's really hot or really cold, it falls apart like a house of cards. So that means it would be pretty useless in the other two lost belts we've seen. I see, but when one considers how stable this lost belt's environment is, it becomes clear how useful such a module would be here. Oh, it also focuses on precision over area of effect, so it won't hide you from someone close by. But since we only have to worry about long-range spying here, it should work perfectly in this case. What the? Shunyang just launched something else at us. Let's go check out our master. Oh, a benefaction. A village god of benefaction. Most glorious and majestic Heavenly Emperor wishes to thank you for your hospitality to our otherworldly visitors. Be grateful for this blessing. Thank you. Most glorious and majestic Heavenly Emperor, thank you. Benefaction, I remember now. You said that's one of those rockets I usually use to deliver. Man, I'm so lucky. I can't wait till I'm a grown-up and can get benefactions, too. I mean, kids never get them. We do, but they usually don't work as well when you're little as when you're grown up. They sure don't for me. Say, want to try mine and see what they're like for yourself, miss? Here you go. It looks like medicine. Yup, it clears your head out and makes you feel really good. It's like a dream come true. It also could be a brainwashing pill. Is that so? Give it here. Remember your reputation. That's assured, I'm not speaking solely out of personal desire. Don't you think such a drug is worth analyzing? This could be some sort of technology unique to this lost belt. That's no counterpart in probably human history. I see, so this benefaction isn't money then. Of course not. I doubt this farming village even has a monetary economy. Then again, the fact that we've seen so much agriculture would suggest some economic activity. What if their crops yield tremendous surplus every year, without fail? Is that even possible? In our world, using methods of agriculture with which are familiar, no. But things may work differently in this world. I took a look at the wheat they are growing, and it was like nothing I've ever seen. In fact, I can't even be certain it is wheat. All I can say for certain is that it has been heavily modified. Perhaps its seemingly primitive form of agriculture is actually far more advanced than we had been giving it credit for. Even though these farmers don't have so much as a single tractor. Perhaps their methods are so advanced, they have no need for machines. Why don't you analyze the wheat along with that shady drug then? You might just learn something. I cannot say that the wheat is nearly as interesting as the drug. But now that we no longer need to look for Koinskaya, I suppose I could spare the time. Yep. Hey, isn't that Qinshi Wang's? Hi there. Engineers just went on break. That vehicle is like your home away from home, right? I'm so sorry you can't use it during our investigation. Are you finding everything that you're liking in our camp in the meantime? Oh yes, it's very pleasant here. The air is so clean and fresh too. It's so nice to have a place outside of our vehicle where we can relax. We didn't really have that in the other places we've been to. Oh, phone. I'm glad to hear it. Alright, I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Xin Liang Yu, General of the Empire. Xin Liang Yu, You know, Holmes, you're from the Ming period, right? Ming, alright, the history of your own world is entirely different from ours, isn't it? I think they said Xin's reign ended quickly there, and that numerous other dynasties sprung up in its place. Here in this world, the only emperor I know is King Shi Huang, who has reigned for the last 2,200 years. That aside, the fact that you are still alive in this day and age is a great surprise to us. Did King Shi Huang make you immortal too, by any chance? Of course not. I was just permitted to sleep in Mount Lee after my accomplishments in the Bozu Rebellion. Here in the Empire, any warrior who makes a name for themselves is put to rest in times of peace and is only awakened again when they are needed. They employ cryogenic freezing, and I presume there is no need to keep a standing army here. Was Zhang Yu frozen in Mount Lee too? Zhang Yu? I see, so you call that thing Zhang Yu too? That thing? No, that thing is just a valuable relic. It's one of the most glorious and majestic Heavenly Emperor's most impressive accomplishments, which is saying a lot. It's built one of the cornerstones of this eternal empire, and a monument to it. But as you can see, it's not a living soldier. You could say it's the ancestor to the mechanical army. So Kishi Wang's army is composed of those dolls. And your commanders from the past were enforced in order to lead them. Of course, I'm also told that the royal guards in Xiangyang are always assembled from soldiers from the current era. I've even heard that some elites have received instructions to charge from most glorious and majestic Heavenly Emperor in person. But Qin Shi Huang has no need to keep a full army on hand at all times. Mechanical soldiers are more than sufficient, and the generals needed to lead them can always be summoned from their quarters in Mount Lee. It's been a long time since I was frozen myself, and I'm also told there hasn't been any sort of disturbance for the last 100 years. They think war has been eradicated from this world. Even when I was a young girl, war was only ever something I read about in history books. I mean, wars can only be fought between countries, right? But there haven't been any countries besides our empire for over 800 years. The only reason I took up the spear was to help put down revolts. And Qin Shi Huang has achieved dominion over the world by the 13th century. They started implementing gunpowder well before any other country, so no nation was able to oppose us. The discovery of the Fusang tree was a big help too, as it helped us make huge leaps in our medical science. It's all thanks to most glorious and majestic Heavenly Emperor, abandoning mortal flesh in favor of a holy undying vessel. So is the Fusang tree, the tree that we need to take down? What's the Fusang tree? I told it's the embodiment of the Sage's secrets and treasure trove of hidden mystic wisdom. Others know it as the Tree of Life. Most glorious and majestic Heavenly Emperor discovered it while searching the Sage world for the secrets to immortality. Does that mean Qin Shi Huang really did manage to become a sage? No, most glorious and majestic Heavenly Emperor had already achieved immortality through the Holy Vessel before discovering the Fusang tree. They say the Emperor chose to remain in metal rather than ascend to the heavens, because it was a better way to lead the nation. Still, it took over 300 years to complete the search, and it wouldn't have been possible without abandoning the shackles of mortality. In the end, the Emperor decided to use the Sage's knowledge of medicine to improve the people's lives. With all manner of disease, hunger, and pestilence eradicated, and our soldiers' strength enhanced through the elixirs, no other country's forces stood a chance against us. Sage art-based biochemistry, That reminds me, isn't this a rather unnecessarily large plot of farmland for this number of residents? You think, I suppose everyone does have their hands full during the harvest. But the wheat grows on its own the rest of the time. That doesn't seem like too much work to me. If that's so, I do beg your pardon. I merely thought that all this wheat might result in quite a surplus, given how many people live here. Perhaps you take more than half of the harvest as a form of taxation. Of course, everything the village can't eat is taken to Xiangyang. I see. I suppose Xiangyang must be an immensely populous city. No, not especially. Now I see. I take it wheat is still only grown for food in your world. Is that not the case here? Wheat is the key ingredient for ethanol, the Empire's most valuable source of energy. Well, don't I look a proper fool? I was completely taken by appearances. This rather mundane-looking wheat field is actually used primarily for growing a fuel source. I did hear that the world you all come from has a completely different history from ours. I can only speculate, but I gather the world you come from must be a cruel and unforgiving place. What makes you say that? Both you and that young lady I do hope this doesn't offend you, but neither of you look as though you enjoy fighting. You have such kind eyes, so much so that I can scarcely imagine you in any quarrels to begin with. Bravo! And yet that weapon the young lady carries looks to be so heavy and dense that even the most seasoned of our warriors would have difficulty handling it. What's more, I can tell she wields it as naturally as if it were an extension of her own body. And people such as yourselves have been forced to become adept at combat at such a young age. Well, that says a great deal about how harsh the world must be. I mean, we did have to save humanity and all, yeah. Damn, looks like they're gonna party all night, huh? That benefaction stuff must be some real good shit. Indeed. What's going on, man? Is it like you? I thought you'd be all up in arms about, these poor people dancing at the meager blessings their oppressors deign to bestow upon them or something. Yes, perhaps under other circumstances I would. But seeing how happy they are right now, it is difficult to find fault in this. So that's how it is, huh? It was the pain and starvation I saw so many forced to endure that first moved me to rebellion. They were treated more like animals than people. Their smiles and moments of hard-won victory and freedom were so fragile, so honorable. They were nothing like what I see here now. Now that I think of it, I've never seen anywhere so filled with joy and peace as this village. Of course not. These sheep don't even know what the war is, remember. Couldn't be further from our world. I'd always hoped that the blood my compatriots and I shed would buy smiles like this. But I never dreamed I would truly get to see them. This world is too perfect for the likes of me. Ain't that the truth? Tell me, O Knight, are you sure we should even be here? You effing kidding me? Why would you even ask? You get along great with these people. I know, but even so, something continues to feel off. I cannot help but wonder, do we heroic spirits truly have a place on the battlefield of these lost belts? You never know. Senpai, are you up? Having trouble sleeping, Marsh? Yes, I'm afraid my nerves are still frayed from the battle we fought earlier today. I'm glad we survived things at Kishiwang and just heating, but it was still too close for comfort. Why don't we get some fresh air? Okay, thank you for joining me, Senpai. I see the villagers are still enjoying their festival. I guess these benefactions must be a huge cause for celebration. Holmes said he suspected they might be a luxury good much like alcohol in our own world. The fact that it's like a drug makes me a little nervous, though. Maybe our perspective is off there, since we're used to Holmes's habits. Anyway, it looks like they're going to keep the Shadow Porter investigation going through the night. I hope Da Vinci will be okay supervising them. That leaves us with nothing to do for once. Yeah, it feels like forever since we had free time to ourselves. This last belt is really peaceful, isn't it? Something wrong. Senpai, I've seen a world like this before. It was a world of possibilities united under a single ideal. Are you talking about the Temple of Time? Yes, the King of Mages, Gatia, envisioned a history of humanity that was free from strife and suffering. I disagreed with him. There was something about a world completely lacking any pain and adversity that just felt wrong to me. But now the way people live here seems so close to that world, yet it's still rich with life and the scent of earth. These people aren't illusions, they're just as real as we are. But we're still this world's enemies. Yes, I know. Even after we take Coin Sky into custody and secure an antidote, there won't be an end of it. We can't stop fighting until we find the Tree of Emptiness, cut it down, and prune this world away like it was originally meant to be. I know this is a rare chance to rest and relax, but when I think about that, I just can't get to sleep. It's been so long since we've seen such a beautiful night sky. Master, get back! It would seem I missed my chance. I thought it would be easy to kill you under cover of darkness. I underestimated those who have spent their lives dedicated to the art of war. Even if it would take no more than a single stroke of my sword, I cannot bring myself to sneak up behind and murder someone in cold blood, as I admire the beauty of the night sky. Prince of Lan Ling, but we've called a truce right now. No, you and the Emperor called a truce. My master and I agreed to no such thing. As such, tonight, when everyone else had lowered their guard, would have been a perfect chance to end you, Master of Chaldea. Ordinarily, I would have liked nothing more than for those moved by beautiful things to live out their lives in peace and happiness. But now that we have met as enemies, that can never be. I had hoped to end you before you had to feel any need for fear. Forgive me for my incompetence. Did you really think it would be that easy, servant? Xianling! Wow. Xin Liangyu, did you honestly believe I would fail to protect our allies in a moment of perfect assassination? Perhaps a true assassin would have been able to elude me, but you not a chance. Warriors like you are meant to cross swords on the field of battle, not skulk around in the dead of night. Your master must be grossly ignorant of war to send you on a mission so badly suited to your abilities. Silence! I will not suffer any insolence to my master. Still, now that I have heard such insolent remarks, I need feel no guilt for drawing my sword. For that you have my thanks, General.
一気火星に畳みかける
Hey, we're fighting some puppets, huh?
あ、行こう。
Too bad they're not really gonna be able to do much to us.
いいじゃない。
Just like, you know, our precious little sword emperor over here. Isn't gonna do much to us either. His noble phantasm kinda sucks, man, not gonna lie. His damage and his noble phantasm kinda
こういうのどう
sucks. Okay, you know what? Why did I do that?
だ他にやることないの
Just use your freaking noble phantasm, Zekken, Mukyu Sandan.
どうかしら。
I don't need to worry about anything else. Unless, of course, you know, the next part of the battle is with him and puppets. But either way, it should be... I should have used Ishtar's ability, god dang it. No. I was too busy talking and I completely just forgot about it. Oh well. It's fine, I don't need to use that ability of his anyways. So...
なんかくっついたわね。
Uncount the
私
Kigalishi.
狙いは決まいいじゃない。
Now, I'm wondering, do I need to take out only his break bar and then he'll run away again with his tail between his legs, or are we actually going to be able to fight him completely to the end? That I need to know. Go Gadget Ishtar! Oh, I love you so much. There goes his break bar. Is that the end of the battle? No, of course not. Of course it would be too easy if it was the end of the battle right then and there. So do this, and then this.
無駄だ
Yeah, do more damage. 16 crit stars, I love it. Bop, bop, bop. Ishtar, can you get 2 more crits, please?
どうかしら。
1, 2. I love it. The prince is not looking all too hot right now. He really is not looking hot.
こういうのどうだ
Now we can also buff up Ishtar's Noble Phantasm. Bop,
そういうことか。
bop. Uncount the Kigalishi.
金星まで連れて行ってあげる。
You know that
動
dang
かないよ。
invincible right now. Why is the Noble Phantasm sometimes bugging out and it's silent? That's actually kind of annoying. Whoa, Okito and it's almost just got taken out.
狙いは決まった？
Jesus. You know what? Did she take him out instead? No. Damn.
動かない。
I was hoping Wave would do more damage than that.
最上に近い勝利
7 turns. GG. We win. Get out of here. I've stalled long enough. Any chance you had at victory is gone, Prince of Longling. Jean Leong Yu speaks the truth. Nighttime though it may be, even we at such great remove cannot help but notice such tumultuous commotion. We trust you can hear the voice Akuta Hinako. What do you have to say for yourself? Akuta! I know you may not understand right now, Your Imperial Majesty, but I promise that everything I've done has been for the prosperity of your empire. Is that so? Then it would seem you indeed have no intention of honoring our wishes. Now then, what to do with you? We doubt the threat of beheading would be enough to cow you. No, if we are to punish you, then we must take something else away. Ah yes, I know. Come here, Quasi Zero. You summoned me, Imperial Majesty. Zhang Yu? We did rip your core out of your chest and smash it to pieces immediately. As you wish, Imperial Majesty. Wait, please, wait. I'm sorry, please, anything but that. Ah, so you are able to plead for forgiveness. You must be quite attached to that machine indeed. Akuta, please, have mercy, I swear I will serve you faithfully from this moment forward. I'll do anything you ask, anything at all, just please spare his life. We will hold you to your word, Akuta Hinako. Know that the only reward for defying your will is fears far worse than any mere death. Yes, Your Imperial Majesty, I swear, I'll never go against your wishes again. Well done, Jean Leong Yu. You need not concern yourself with that woman any longer. Understood, Your Imperial Majesty. Lady Cell, I suggest you return to the camp and retire for the night. Senpai. Let's go, Marsh. Okay. Oh. I must ask you once again. Yes. Who is this Zhang Yu you speak of? To answer that, I will need to tell you another very different story first. The one where the Emperor died, before obtaining the Holy Vessel. That's right. After the Emperor passed, the quest for immortality was seemingly buried with him. You were no exception, as you were kept hidden away in the secret Quasi laboratory. But someone found and reactivated you, a man by the name of Zhang Liang. He went on to become one of the many people attempting to rule China for himself after the decline of Qing. Then in this history, I fell into rebel hands. Zhang Liang wanted to use his superhuman abilities to further his own ambitions. So he gave you his surname of Zhang, the first name Ji, and the courtesy name of Yu, and presented you as his nephew, despite knowing you were not actually human. True, I was only given my current combat frame long after I was first activated. My original chassis was entirely humanoid. No one ever suspected Zhang Liang was lying. The thought simply never occurred to them. The Emperor had based you on Taiyi's advanced creation. A machine as advanced as you was beyond anyone's imagination at the time. Then I was treated as a person, rather than a device. Given your appearance, no one had any reason to suspect you were anything other than human, regardless of how exceptionally skilled you may have been. In time, future generations would come to know Zhang Yu as one of China's greatest warriors. Yet none of them would ever know your true identity, nor how you were made. Something is amiss with your claims. This Zhonglong person kept my origins and the truth of my creation a secret. How did you come to learn the truth? Who are you really? I am just a drifter. One who came to this last spell solely to be reunited with you, my beloved Lord Zhang Yu. Dun dun dun! So, she's his lover from another life? I don't know. Or maybe beloved Zhang Yu was taken in a different sense, not in the literal sense of what I believed. Okay, well, I need to take a break. I might tack on Land of Peace onto this episode, but not right now. So in case I don't and actually keep it for the next episode, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next one, where we're going to be doing Land of Peace Section 8, Section 9, and maybe 10, give or take, if it actually goes faster. I mean, I'm still making good headway. It's just, oh boy, it's going to take a long time to get anyone near the end. Because I really honestly was not expecting 6 and 7 to be that long. It was literally, okay, I went from Sector 2 to Sector 5 and finished all of it. And the time it took me, pretty much, to do Sector 6 and 7. Man, it's inconsistent. So yeah, till then, see you guys later.